Happy birthday, Virgos. It's Virgo season. I know you're excited. Today, we're going to share with you the September 2025 Astro-Numerology Forecast. How are you today, Lloyd?
I am fine, Kimberly, and how are you?
I'm doing great. I'm doing great. So, how was August for you?
August was about it was good. It was really about me being optimistic, being positive. Sometimes when you hear enough that's going on in the world, you can get down in the dumps, but my whole theme was to be optimistic. I don't care what, that was my goal. And I think yours was about fulfillment. How was yours?
It was nice. You had no choice but to be optimistic in August. You know what? The month went by too fast for me, and I always feel that way in August because it's my birthday month. So the month goes by really, really fast. August was an 8 universal month. So
Mhm.
for us, that meant power, achievement, recognition. You tell us what it meant.
How was your birthday?
It was good. It was good. People don't know. I've been expecting. And
Get
in
out of here. When does the
August,
baby due?
hmm?
When is the baby due?
Well, the baby is just about to drop because I'm dropping a 263-pound book, and I'll
I was
show
gonna
you
say
the
that's a
picture.
big baby. 200 is, well, you gotta.
Let me show you my baby. This is my baby. This is the
Wow,
Business of
wow, that
Numerology.
is so nice.
It's an astro-numerical approach to business, and a lot went into this book. I'm going to detail the whole journey of this book at a later time, but this has been what my focus have been on in the month of August, and I want people to know that this is a foundational book. Everyone needs a copy of this book if they're thinking of starting a business, if they already have their business, because this is a system that I created and we talked about the Leo energy from the month of August. And the Leo is about being innovative and new approach to things. And I'm proud to say that I've created a framework to help align businesses through astronumerology. Some people may not get it now, but in the coming years, you will see this become and something that's very necessary for business to help you grow and to help you succeed. So I'll let everybody know when the book drops. But enough about me.
Well, no, no, hope, hope, hope. It looks like a beautiful baby. Okay, I was gonna ask was it a boy or girl, but we got that straight. Congratulations,
Thank
Kimberly.
you so much.
Congratulations. You deserve it. You deserve it very much. And for business, because you have found your niche as a business astronumerologist, and business opens every day around the country, around the world. And so I would imagine everything you're doing is applied as universally done. So it's nice. Congratulations. That's all.
Thank you.
Congratulations, mommy.
Thank you. So, what can we expect in September? What's coming up next?
Well, I was going to say we can expect some drama, but that's not true. What we can expect is nine is always associated with endings, terminations, closures. That's on one hand. Is also associated with dreams come true, fulfillment, And it's also associated with travel, but it's also associated with other things too. First of all, 9 is a humanitarian number. We happen to be in a 9 universal month. Now, how did I achieve that? Simple. I took 2025 and added it to the 9th calendar month, which is now, and 9 plus 9 is 18. So 1 plus 8 is 9. So not only is this a 9 universal year, it is also a 9 universal month at the same time. So not only does, dreams fulfilled, endings, closures, long trips, but it also represents a transcendent where you raise yourself to the next level. It's also a cycle that deals with forgiveness and spiritual elevation. Even more so, it is a cycle of determination, understanding, and humanity toward your fellow man, believe it or not. It's global awareness, it's being motivational, inspirational, things of that nature. The signs, well, there's certain things to be avoided because 9 is ruled by the element of fire, although we're in an earth period for Virgos. But in a 9 cycle, because we're in a 9 year and a 9 month at the same time, these are the things you should avoid: arguments, confrontations, hastiness. Be careful of handling sharp instruments like knives or scissors and things like that. Taking your time when you're chopping or dicing your vegetables or meats or whatever the case is. And for those who happen to be gun owners, okay, please be very, very, very careful handling guns. Don't assume the safety is on. Make sure, especially for those of you who have children, because every year, unfortunately, there is a unnecessary loss of a child, of somebody that was neglectful in not putting the firearm away or putting it in a lock or something like that. So be very careful, and you don't want to have to lose a loved one, much less a child, in order to say, I wish I'd have did this or wish I did that, because it's too late. This month, avoid fender benders. In other words, don't drive fast. Avoid kind of accidents, things of that nature, and avoid over alcohol consumption too. Those would be some of the things to be on the watch outside for. Those for the signs that are likely to do well, it will be the sign of Aries and Scorpio and Leo, or anyone born on the 9th, the 18th, or the 27th. There's going to be a full moon on the 21st of this month and a new moon on the 7th of this month as well. So we get into the almanac of do's and don'ts of what we should do.
I have a few questions first. Since we're in a 9 year and this is a 9 month, does this mean that the energy we've been experiencing the whole year, it will kind of double down this month?
Exactly. Everything comes to a head. Everything, and especially for things that and so although it represents endings, it's not just physical endings, but endings about the way we think, negative things, to let that go. Endings about negative habits, because next year, 2026, which actually showcases in October as the preview month, gives you a clue about starting fresh. And what the rule is in this month is not to bring old baggage into the brand new cycle beginning October into 2026. So that's why anything that's negative, anything that's not constructive, anything that's toxic, anything that's not to your benefit, this is the month to let it go. Where you say, I don't need this, I don't need that. And you might be looking at somebody and says, you know what? I don't need you either. I'm out of here. So it's that kind of thing. But on the other side, it's about really bringing out the best in people, motivating people to become, as they say nowadays, the best version of yourself.
Another question I wanted to ask is because I know that the United States was born under the sign of Cancer. I want to know, what can we expect in the United States this month?
Well, that's interesting, because one of the things, the sign that's likely to be challenged more than any other sign this month is Cancer, which is the United States. Now, the United States is born on July the 4th of 1776. It happens to be in a 2 personal year. So it means it's in a 2 personal month. We're in a 9 universal month. So there's going to be direct conflict. Not that I want it to be, but the way the rotation of the numbers work. So I'm saying for all the citizens in this country, for the United States in general and its citizens in particular, this is a time where there might be things that appear contradictory. This kind of like really kind of weird. So I would think that people should really, all cancers especially, and the United States should be a little bit more diplomatic and whatnot and persuasive rather than trying to be belligerent, which is definitely one of the negative sides of a 9 cycle on the negative side. Quick questions. Any other questions before we start with the almanac?
No, that's it. Let's get into the almanac.
I love your questions. You never run out of questions, but it's okay. Now, for those that wish to buy a car, the best time to buy a car this month is on the 4th and the 12th. Now, let's say those of you who want to open up a business, because last month of August was a business month, but business takes place every day. So that would be on the 2nd, the 12th, the 16th, and the 27th of the month. So for those of you who are interested in opening up businesses, these are the dates for you. Now, what about electronics? Well, that's on the 4th, the 12th, the 21st through the 22nd of this month of September. As for habits, if you want to break a habit, the best time is between the 17th through the 19th. That 2-3 day period will give you a chance that anything that you feel that has become overindulgent and you need to kind of break it or break the cycle, that's it. But don't forget, in the rule of thumb of a cycle is it takes 21 days to break a cycle. Anyone takes 21 days to form a cycle. So for those of you who are really serious, because this is a cycle of phasing out things that are no longer to your advantage, those dates will be good from the 17th to the 19th. Now, what about hair? Let's say we got a person who has grows like weeds, okay? Well, from the 1st to the 3rd is good. Also the 7th, the 26th, and the 30th of the month as well. Now, what about those who want to say my hair is growing and I need to cut it? Well, the 10th through the 13th would be good. And for those that want to take out a loan, there's no really ideal dates. However, if one was to pick up my app, Astar 8, Astar 8, you'll see that by looking at your calendar, wherever the green star days are, or maybe do it under the cardinal signs or a sign or period that represents where the moon is in your sign with my daily horoscope presents, that may help you too, if you must do it. But technically right now, astrologically, they're not really ideal dates. If your sun, moon, or ascendant happens to be in this month's sign of Virgo, the theme for this month is about charisma, the allure, the appeal, the magnetism to be able to get things done. You know, it's just a matter of attitude, and attitude creates that kind of energy, which is what people can pick up. Well, for you, Virgo, this is the whole thing. That should be your motto. That should be your mantra, that this is all about charisma, especially in the first week, because the first week deals with relationships. However, there will be a bump in the road around the 7th and the 8th when the moon is in your opposition sign of Pisces. But over and above that, this month should allow you all the freedom and flexibility to come and go as you please, but more in a charismatic way. And it's not about bragging or boasting. It's just being about more confident about yourself, having that kind of energy that draws people into you like a magnet, okay? That is what this is about. In the second week, which is from the 8th to the 14th, that's going to give you an opportunity to really kind of go deep and withdraw, to get away, to really feel what you're about, to begin to question your own abilities and what you have to offer people. But the whole thing, regardless of it, is being charismatic as possible. That kind of energy and broad-minded appeal that people will be drawn to, and especially in the second week, because you will be in a magnetic cycle. Charismatically, the week of the 15th to the 21st, though, especially on the 20th and the 21st, is going to be great because that's going to be the money week for you. So since you're going to be charismatic and that is your theme, you be as much charismatic about bringing all the money into your atmosphere, all the money into your sphere of influence, as they say. And it also means relationships too, particularly those from the past, such as ancestral or things of that nature. As you wrap up the tail end of your birthday month, going from the 22nd to the end, you'll find that things will be really, really happening. In fact, it'll give you an opportunity. Maybe I wouldn't be surprised to do some traveling, especially backing up around the second week from the 8th through the 14th, but especially as you end your birthday month for Virgo. You'll find that those who will help you will be Geminis in your own sign of Virgo, of course, or if one happens to be born on the 5th, the 14th, or the 23rd of the month, or if your color, the color to wear for you, Virgo, this month is turquoise. And the stone or crystal to wear or carry in addition to be shungite and lapis lazuli. All righty. So now, what about Libra? All right. Your birthday's next month in October, but now you at least you're second best. So for Libra, if your sun, moon, or ascendant is in the sign of Libra, your theme, believe it or not, is love. Now, that makes perfect sense when you think about it, because the sign, the planet that rules your sign is Venus, the planet of love, beauty, and balance. But not love in an egotistical way, but love of self, love of selflessness, love in the sense of fondness and devotion and infatuation and things like that that bring people to you like a magnet, because this is a magnetic month in some way, shape, or form. You know, they talk about the power of love, that love transcends all kinds of things from drama to hatred to whatever the case is. That is about taking the high road for you this month. And especially as you go into the first week, because it's about being more reflective. So think of it as going through a more kind of like, shall we say, a cycle of attraction that you want to, what kind of love you want to draw to you. Don't chase after the love, chase after the money, but just kind of visualize it, see it in your mind's eye, and watch it come to you. As you go into the second week, though, which would be a financial part of the cycle you're going through as it relates to love, you'll find that around the 9th and the 10th, things going to be a little shaky because the moon will be in your opposition sign of Aries at the time. So it simply means to, yes, be dealing with money, yes, dealing with finance, yes, dealing with business matters if that's the case. But it's that 2-day period of the 9th and the 10th that says you should do it with caution. As you enter the third week, that's going to be the time where your love can expand. Your love should be humanitarian. You know, it's interesting because you will be in a period where it's called unconditional love. So when you say you love somebody, it's unconditional love. It ain't love romantically, love sexually, but just the spirit of love to humanity, one to the other. And so since your sign is about beauty and balance, one should be able to do that better. However, as you go into the last week, that's going to be the week you be my new best friend, because on the 22nd, 23rd, 24th of the month, it allows you the opportunity to kind of go deep, to kind of explore, to kind of open up options that will open the doors for love, because the whole thing from the beginning of September until the very last day of the 30th of the month is about showing that kind of love that transcends all kinds of hatred, jealousy, and all the other little negativities that we get into. And actually, it'll take you to the high level, and those in your sphere of influence, it'll take them to that level too. Now, who is likely to help you? Other than yourself of Libra, it'll be Taurus or anyone who's born on the 6th, the 15th, or the 23rd of any month. Now, the color to wear for you this month, Libra, is soft blues, and this crystal or stone to wear or carry over and above shungite should be peridot. That's Peridot. That's peridot. If your sun, moon, or ascendant is in the sign of Scorpio, your theme this month, believe it or not, is surrender. I know some of you Scorpios out there are saying, what? Are you serious? I'm a fixed sign. I'm determined. Do you know how powerful we are? I'm not talking about that kind of power. I'm talking about the ability to submit, the ability to succumb, the ability to yield. Sometimes put it this way. You're a water sign, right? Water, when you're in harmony with it, it acts as your best friend and carry you down the creek or whatever the case is. And yet when you go against the tide, that's why no matter how hard you try, it is always best to surrender, to go with the flow. And that's what this month is saying for you, Scorpio. That yes, you're a fixed sign. Yes, you can be determined, but know when to surrender. Know when to say, okay, you got it. not let the ego take the best of you, especially in the first week, because ego sets in the way. And so more than likely it's about me, myself, and I. But don't forget, it's not about you as the ability to kind of like lay back, surrender. I know this word kind of maybe sounds stressful, but it is really about the bigger things and not letting it get the best of you. Because in the second week, that's really when you're going to find it surrender to. Let things be bygones. Let things unfold organically. Because especially around the 11th and the 12th, when the moon is sitting in your direct opposition sign of Taurus, you will find that if you don't learn that lesson, the lesson will teach you, especially in this period where you must submit, so to speak. Going into the third week is going to be much more pleasant. It's going to be more active, more creative, more expansive. It's going to do very well as far as your career is concerned. And as you go into the final week of the 22nd to the end of the month, it's on the 25th and the 26th when the moon sits in your sign that you're going to do very, very well. And it tells me that if you need some structure, need some organization, and need to put it in a way that your surrender winds up being a blessing as against knowing when to lay back, you'll find it will be to your advantage. The signs that will help you over and above your own sign will be Aries and Leo, or anyone born on the 9th, the 18th, or the 27th of the month. Now, as for the color to wear, it should be crimson. And as for the stone or crystal to wear or carry over and above shungite should be ruby. Okay, Sagittarius, what about you? If your sun, moon, or ascendant is in the sign of Sagittarius, the theme this month is about wit, your wits, to keep your wits about you, so to speak, to use a more common sense kind of attitude about the way you do things, to use a bit of skill and ingenuity about getting things done. You know, it's very important because Sagittarius, bless your soul, y'all fire signs, y'all can be very kind of like into the moment, doing things in a spontaneous way, but it means keeping your wits about you, having a situational awareness of what's going on. In other words, instead of keeping your face in a phone and walking into a pole or doing something you're supposed to do, keep your wits about you. That's what's going to help you this particular month. And this is very important because you're a fire sign in an earth period, so you might feel grounded. So try not to let those things throw you off. You'll find that in the first week, you know, you'll be about, okay, I need to get it together. I need to have a plan of action. I need to really have this blueprint or model that I can follow that gets me from point A to B. But you'll find that that will be very important to get it off the ground. Now, as you go into the second week, especially on the 13th and 14th, when the moon is sitting in your direct opposition sign of Gemini, that is the time you got to be a little mindful, because not only is that period in opposition to your sign, with the moon being in your opposition period during that 2-day cycle, you will find that don't work yourself out. Keep your wits about you, okay? That is the whole theme of what this is about, to be aware, to have that kind of consciousness, that sense of kundalini, as they call it. So you don't get thrown off your center by things that are kind of happening kind of in an impulsive way. Now, on the 15th, the third week, that's the week that's going to do well with a romantic and financial kind of situation where things begin to flow your way. You'll feel at ease or camaraderie with getting things done. And so it should be to your advantage. And also, if you need to focus on your personal appearance or your health or educational situations, that would be to your advantage too. You will find it in the tail end of the week number 4, the 22nd through the 31st, that on the 27th, the 28th, and the 29th, just as you go into the sign that's going to be next, which is Libra, in your case, Sagittarius, you'll find it will be much more to your advantage, okay? And so you'll find that not only that, but instead of chasing after what you want, you'll be in a cycle that week that governs the laws of attraction, that thinking, just by simply thinking, will bring it to you. So it's been about keeping your wits about you. Now, who is likely to help you in addition to your own sign, Sagittarius, is Pisces, or anyone born on the 3rd, the 12th, the 21st, or the 30th of the month as well. That's for the color. The color for you is yellow, okay? But, you know, they got all shades of yellow, from sun yellow to Bahamian yellow. But the point is yellow, whatever shade you feel comfortable to complement your skin or your attitude. And the stone or crystal you should wear or carry, in addition to shungite, is citrine, Citrins, citrine. Okay. Now, what about Capricorns? Okay. If your sun, moon, or ascendant is in the sign of Capricorn, the theme for you this month is results. Just that simple. Nobody can do that better than a Capricorn, because Capricorn is the house of business. It serves the 10th house. And so it's about results. It's about persistence. It's about your stamina, about hanging in there and whatnot. It's about that fortitude. You will find that if you take that attitude, you will do very well. Now, in the very first week, it suggests that there's going to be some opportunities to phase some things out of your life. You begin to say, okay, as a result of me handling my business, I need to begin to cut this loose. I need to cut back on that, because in the cycle that you're in this month, it's about taking a more business-like approach, a realistic approach, and doing it. But you'll find it in the second week, though, that's when you start something new. I wouldn't be surprised if you don't step out on faith, become proactive in starting something, or even get a raise or promotion on your job, which I pray you do. Over and above that, though, going into the third week from the 15th to the 21st, around the 15th and 16th, when the moon is sitting in your opposition sign, okay, of Cancer, it just simply means being more diplomatic about the way you do things, to kind of have that attitude that, well, I'll be patient, because sometimes that's one of the lessons we have to learn, is be patient. So if you're one of those Capricorns that's impulsive, especially on a date that's a 9 or a 1 or a 3, and you just can't wait, well, circumstances will force you, especially since that opposition day of the 15th and the 16th will be present. But as you close out the month of the last week of the 22nd to the 30th of the month, you'll find that actually things are going to open up for you. There's going to be the kind of contacts that you need. There's any matter that's of a legal or pressing nature will be resolved successfully in your favor. And you will find it on the very last day of September, the sun will be in your sign to kind of compliment you, because, to digress, it's on the 2nd, the 3rd, and the 4th, just as we open up this month of September, that you find that the moon will be favoring you and shining its light on you. And it'll also be near the full moon. So it should be a good time to illuminate, shall we say, to get the results you need and to have the impact that you need to get things done. You will find that those under your own sign of Capricorn, in addition to Aquarius and Libra, will help you, or someone that's born on the 8th, the 17th, or the 26th of the month as well. Now, as for the color you should wear, it should be navy, navy blue, navy black, whatever the case is. But the darker the color, the better will suit you. You will find as a result that over and above the color, that the stone of crystal to wear or carry is shungite and hematite. Those would be the colors. Now, what about Aquarius? Okay. If your sun, moon, or ascendant is in the sign of Aquarius, your theme this month is about endurance, to have that persistency, to get that, the strength to just endure, so to speak, to stay what you're going to do. And it's about mean what you say and say what you mean, or I should say what you mean and mean what you say. But the point is to have that kind of reputation that, yes, you rock solid, you rock steady, and that once you're on a mission, you're on a mission to carry out all the plans you need to do. You will find that in the first week, especially with the 5th and the 6th, the moon will be in your sign of Aquarius. So that should complement you coming out the gate, as it denotes some major changes and opportunities and possibilities in your circle of influence. You'll find that as you go into the second week, from the 5th to 8th to the 14th, some adjustments may have to be made, whether it's about relationships, whether it's about finances, whether it's about health or appearance. But the point is, be a person of your word. And it's very important, because that week may be a little challenging, although the moon won't be in your opposition sign until the 3rd week. So it's in that 3rd week of the 15th to the 21st. That is when you kind of take a laid back attitude. That is the type, instead of chasing after things, you kind of meditate on what you want. Now, it may be challenging, because on the 17th, 18th, and 19th, the moon will be in your direct opposition sign of Leo. And so it simply means don't go overboard. Try not to expect too much. yes, it's nice to be over enduring and having that stamina and persistence and steadfastness, but it means at that time be more diplomatic. Sometimes it's like going against a rock, and rocks don't move. So it's kind of taking that attitude. But as you go into the tail end of the 22nd to the end of the month, it's going to give you an opportunity to kind of really break some ground as far as money is concerned, people from your past is concerned, dealing with legacies and ancestral type of things that will make you kind of come of age and things of that nature. So it should be personally rewarding. Now, who is going to help you in addition to your zodiac sign will be Leo and Gemini, or anybody born on the 1st or the 4th, the 10th or the 13th, the 19th, 22nd, 28th, or 31st of the month as well. The color to wear for you should be earth tones, okay? These earth colors that keeps you grounded and things of that nature. And the stone or crystal to wear or carry ever and above shungite should be smoky quartz, okay? What about Pisces? If your sun or your moon or your ascendant is in the sign of Pisces, your theme for the month of Virgo or September is about openness, to be accepted, to have that receptivity, to be open to new ideas, open to new suggestions, to be understanding, to kind of like have your mind open where you're not locked into about this is the way I can do it, but people who may bring other ideas to you. Now, in the first week, it suggests about laying a foundation, having a sense of order with purpose or blueprint, because you find that toward the end of the first week, around the 7th and 8th, the moon will be sitting in your sign, which is very, very good because that leads into the second week of the 8th. It'll give you an opportunity to travel or create a turning point in your life, to change the paradigm, as they say, that moving from one area into another that may bring with it opportunities, bring with it a chance to open new doors for you and other possibilities is quite apparent. In the third week, though, from the 15th to the 21st, well, you're going to have to make some adjustments around relationships, around your finances, especially around the 20th and 21st when the moon is sitting in your opposition sign of Virgo. But if you do that and you're aware, you will get through it with no problems at all. As for the tail end, around the 8th to the 22nd to the end of the month, that's when you get a chance to kind of lay back, reassess what you've been doing, and to see how open you've been, because don't forget, whatever you do, be open and receptive. For those of you, Pisces, who are going to be closed-minded this month, you will miss out on all the opportunities as being open and receptive. And because you can't know everything. But if you take that attitude of, okay, I can learn by patience and understanding and be listening, you'll find it will be to your advantage. Those who will be of help to you over and above your sign of Pisces will be Sagittarius, or they will be born on the 3rd, the 12th, the 21st, or the 30th of the month. Now, the color to wear should be violet, and the stone or crystal to wear or carry over and above this shungite would be amethyst. That would be the color. Now, what about Aries? I know you Aries say, why it take so long for me to get here? Well, we all get a turn. We rotating this month. That's how we doing this. So if your sun, moon, or ascendant is in the sign of Aries, your theme for this particular month, believe it or not, is about universal wisdom, having the foresight, having the intelligence and the insight and the savvy to kind of like not think you know everything, but be open and receptive to learn all that comes within your universe. And this is going to be very important because in the very first week, Aries, you're going to be stepping out on faith from the 1st to the 7th. You're not going to want to hear it. You're going to want to set the tone for what you want, which I think is good. But at the same time, it's about sharing in the process of it, not just keeping things to yourself, but as the universal theme says, to be open and receptive and having that foresight to raise people's awareness to share. Now, in the second week, from the 8th to the 14th, you'll find around the 9th and the 10th, the moon will be sitting in your sign. So that makes it very, very possible for you to do some things. And since your sign can be impulsive at times, Aries, it suggests that being more patient, more diplomatic, will catch more bees with honey than with other things, as they say. Going into the third week, it means that that's going to be a fun week. I tell you right now. And the week number 3, from the 15th to the 21st, if you've been wanting to have some fun, if you want to be busy, if you want to take a break or whatever from the doldrums of life and whatnot and have yourself a ball, that week is going to be good, because as you go into the final week, it might seem disastrous, especially around the 22nd, 23rd, and 24th, when the moon is sitting in your opposition sign of Libra. You might be saying, oh man, I was riding pretty good, but then I got to, what's up in there. But if you understand that, and plus you'll be in the kind of week where you got to hit the brakes, you got to stay within the boundaries. And so, yes, during the first 3 weeks are good, but that last week says, okay, you've had your fun, you've been busy, but the thing is to exercise that universal wisdom to know the difference of things you can change and know enough to surrender to the higher laws of the universe. And if you can keep that, you should do very well. Now, who is likely to help you up and above other Aries will be Scorpios and Leos, or they will be born on the 9th, 18th, or the 27th of the month. As to the color to wear, it should be maroon, all righty? All shades of maroon. And as for the stone or crystal to wear or carry over and above shungite, it should be rhodonite. That's Rhodoite, rhodonite. Okay, I'll explain it in later on, but the point is that is the stone to wear or carry. Now, what about Taurus? Okay, Taurus, if your sun, moon, or ascendant is in the sign of Taurus, your theme this particular month is about selflessness. Tauruses can be tight, because rules the house of possession. And when they holding on to something, they like to hold on to something. But this is a point to exercise the ability to let go, to exercise kindness, to exercise charity towards your fellow man, to exercise a sense of generosity, whatever you're doing. Now, you're going to find, though, in the first week, you may not feel that way because you want to go down the rabbit hole and dig in and kind of say, okay, what am I doing? Why did Strayhorn say I got to be selflessness when I want to focus on myself? But you'll find that if you take that approach of going within and meditating, some of the answers will come that about being by selfless, you'll get more help and assistance coming your way than if you're just being selfish all to yourself. I hope I said that right. Selfless and selfish is two different things. So you want to be selfless. All right. That's important, because in the second week of the 8th to the 14th, especially around the 11th and the 12th, when the moon is sitting in your sign, that's going to bring about money. So for all Tauruses in the viewership and in this newsletter, you will find that if you need to make some money or deal with some relationships from your past or wind things down, that's going to be perfect. As you go into the third week, though, it indicates you may have a chance to travel or begin to bring some kind of matter to a head or a conclusion, and you will find that that will work for you, especially around that third Tuesday or somewhere around the 18th of the month. As you go into the last week, you'll find that around the 25th, 26th, when the moon is stressing you in your sign of Scorpio, that's when you take it easy. And it's going to be very important, because what's going to happen is it indicates that you're going to want to be proactive, take the initiative. But if you don't understand that you'll be going against the flow of things, just let all things pass. And once you get out of this 2-day stress cycle of the moon opposing you, things will be better, and you should end it off on a nice note. So by being selfless, having charity and kindness and whatnot, you will win the day over with anybody that comes into your space. Now, who is likely to help you over and above your own sign of Taurus will be Libra, of course, Cancer in a minor way, or people that are born on the 6th, the 15th, or the 21st. Now, the color to wear should be indigo, from the lightest to the darkest. And the stone or crystal to wear or carry over and above shungite should be kunzite. That's Kunzite. Kunzite. That's the stone to wear or carry over and above shungite. Now, what about Gemini? Well, if your sun, moon, or ascendant is in the sign of Gemini, the theme this month is to risk take, or to take risks. What do I mean? To have the audacity, the bravado, to step out there and, is what's interesting and what's good for your sign, Gemini, is you're a mutable sign anyway, which means you're changeable, you're flexible, you're kind of fluid. And so anytime if you got to take a chance or a risk, this month will put you in a position to take those more calculated risks that takes you to the next step. I think by human nature, we all want to have that next step of certainty that we know that when we take that next step, we're on solid ground. That's not your case this time. It's like you got to step out on faith. You got to trust in yourself and thus have the courage to move forward in a way that's productive for you. As you go into the first week, it talks about risk taking in terms of matters that affect your relationships, matters that affect your finances, matters that affect your home. And as you go into that second week, though, when you get a chance to slow it down around the 13th and 14th, you'll find that the moon sitting in your sign is going to kind of create that situation where taking risks are more to your favor more than not. Going into the third week, though, it indicates that this is going to be a time to kind of watch your finances a bit, take advantage of all financial opportunities as it comes your way, especially those that are positive. But when it comes to risk taking, the very last week of the 22nd through the 31st, especially around the 22nd, the 26th, the 27th, and the 28th, when the moon is sitting in your opposition sign of Virgo, means to really, really take it easy. So yes, to step out on faith, yes, to take risks, but do it with intelligence. Don't go out the way. Now, if you got my app, a star 8, you'll see that you got some red star days during there. And with this being in the moon being your opposition, it is definitely in your advantage to take it easy and just let things go organically and let it flow. Other than Gemini, your sign, and Virgos to help you, and people born on the 5th, the 14th, and 23rd of the month, you'll find that the best color to wear this month is aqua. And the stone or crystal to wear or carry over and above shungite would be aquamarine. Now, what about Cancer? If your sun, moon, or ascendant is in the sign of Cancer, the theme for you this month, believe it or not, is reflection. Now, what do I mean? The power of observations, the power of thinking, the power of consideration. You know how sometimes you got to reflect on a situation? Well, Cancers, that's exactly your calling for this particular month. Not to step out on a dare, but to kind of look before you leap, to think before you say things, to kind of reflect and judge. And I'm not talking about in a critical way, but in a way to listen more carefully, which is why you got 2 ears and 1 mouth in the first place, before you say anything. And whether this reflection that you're going to have will help a person and benefit them in ways. Now, what's going to happen is, through no fault of your own, on the 3rd, the 2nd, the 3rd, and the 4th, when the moon actually opens up this month in your stress sign of Capricorn, you may not feel like reflecting on anything but other than what in the world is going on, but it's going to allow you to not overextend yourself. And especially when the moon is in your stress time during this first week, not to get caught up in anybody's gossips, scandals, rumors, dramas, just let that pass. Because as you go into the second week, then you'll get a sense of being more structured. Then you get a sense of having the kind of boundaries that put you on a fast track to follow what you need to do in a more structured, organized way. As you go into that third week of the 15th to the 21st, the moon is going to be sitting in your sign on the 15th and the 16th, which will give you an opportunity to maybe do some traveling or make some pivotal shifts in the way you do things collectively in your career, as well as opportunities that deal with finances. And as you go into the very tail end of the month, the week, which would be the 22nd to the end of the month, you will find that only very last day will the moon be sitting in your opposition sign again of Capricorn. So it simply means just be mindful, don't overextend yourself, and just take it easy, especially when it comes to finances and relationships. You will find that those who will help you will be your own sign of Cancer, maybe a Taurus, but anybody, especially born on the 2nd or the 7th, the 11th or the 16th, the 20th, the 25th, or the 29th of the month. Now, as to the color to wear, it should be soft green, okay? And the stone or crystal to wear or carry over and above shungite should be selenite. Saving the best for last, if your sun, moon, or ascendant is in the sign of Leo, your theme this month, and you guys are going to love this, is confidence. Can't nobody be more confident and cocky than Leo. I'm only kidding. It's not that serious. But what I'm saying is this: confidence in the sense of having certainty, determination, to have the heart and the daring to do what you know you need to be done. You'll be surprised that a lot of times people, especially Leos, because by their nature, they're winners because they're ruled by the sun. And so in their daring and in their determination and in their confidence, people will really try to undermine you. People are jealous. And so why should you have success with misery love company? Won't you join the crowd? Well, this is not your month for you to do that, Leo. Don't let the people psych you in or have you do the low ground when you need to have that confidence to move forward with what you do. You will have people, they may pour doubt on your situations, doubt on your plan, but keep that confidence to yourself and knowing that as long as you're doing things for the right reasons, you're likely to get the right results, especially in the first week, because on the 6th and the 7th, the moon will be sitting in your stress sign. And at that time, you'll be in that opening week where things will appear to be iffy or kind of up in the air with a little uncertainty. But don't let that bother you, because as you enter the second week, you'll feel this sense of confidence, creativity, the ability to accomplish and get the things you want to do. And that should help you. And also there'll be an element of good luck coming your way too, as far as maybe monies are concerned, the right contacts are concerned as well. As you go into that third week though, around the 17th, the 18th, and the 19th, where you're now in a position where you feel more organized, you feel more that you're set in the ways to do what you need to do, that will only add to that confidence. The moon will be sitting in your sign then, and that's the time to lay the foundation as you begin to get into the height of it. But as you go into the tail end of September, I should say, you will find that things will be happening. In fact, you might even get a chance to travel, go away for a day or two, or just go away for a while. You know, it's not long distance as such, but just kind of get a change of scenery for you. That would be the most important thing for you at this point. As for your own sign of Leo helping you help yourself, you'll find that Aquarius will help you, Aries will help you, or anybody that's born on the 1st, the 4th, the 10th, the 13th, the 19th, 22nd, 28th, or 31st of the month. And that is it. So the color for you to wear over and above anything should be gold, and the stone or crystal to wear or carry should be carnelian, Carnelian. Carnelian. It's a wonderful stone to have or carry. So that summarizes all the signs from Virgo, to the sign of Leo. And Leos don't like being last, but that's how it went this time, okay? Everybody gets a turn because we rotating this month. And that's how it is. So everybody, I do want to thank you very, very much. And please leave your comments at the bottom, you know, yay, nay, whatever the case is, or suggestions. We are open to suggest everything we want. So that wraps it up for all of us for this month of Virgo. Kimberly?
That was wonderful, as usual. The zodiac sign that really stuck out to me was Scorpio. I like the theme of surrender. And
Mhm.
by the way, after hearing this forecast, I'm gonna find me a couple of Taurus friends. Because Taurus is having a good month this month. And I feel like everybody's going to be having a good month. So I'm wishing all of you the best. Thank you so much for sharing the forecast with us every single month. I want to ask you though, I heard you mention in the Gemini reading about the star 8. Can you tell us, for those who have not heard of the Astar 8, what the Astar 8 is and what it's designed to do?
Well, I developed a mobile app for your phone called Astar 8, just like having Lloyd in your pocket, as my kids say. And what it's designed to do is list all of your more favorable numbers, your challenging numbers, with a daily forecast that I provide every day. But more importantly, there's a calendar. In this calendar, when it opens up, it will tell you in a clear visual way how to pick and choose your battles of the month, how to get those days that are favorable by way of green stars, and how to anticipate those challenging days by way of red stars. In addition to that, I have other features that deal with compatibilities about relationships, compatibilities between individuals altogether. And then one of my favorites is my business side of the application. So if you got a business, you can see how your name of the business fits in conjunction with your birthday or their partners and whatnot. And the beautiful part is the app is growing and being improved. And so there'll be a lot of features. If you want to look at your car, what kind of car you have, or where your home is, or let's say you're traveling. So I try to touch all the bases that people are concerned about: relationships, finances, health, all of that I deal with. And all they got to do is go to their Google Play Store or Apple Store and download the app ASTAR, the number 8. That's ASTAR, the number 8. Download it. Many of the features are freemium, but there are going to be some changes on the way. That's all going to be for everybody's benefit soon.
They can also get it on Linktree/numbers, and you make sure. Let me tell you about the app. I don't do anything without this app, because this app lets me know whether it's going to be a good day or a bad day. And some days when I'm just feeling good, I'm like, oh, what's going on today? And I check the app and I notice, I got 2 green stars, 3 green stars. I'm like, oh, okay, that's what it is. So this is really guidance. It's here to help us, and it's here for you to use it as a tool. So help yourself. Go and download the app. Also, you can find Lloyd. I know a lot of people are interested in learning about Astro-Numerology. You can find Lloyd on YouTube on his Numbers and You channel. He has every Monday and Wednesday live with Lloyd. He has phenomenal guests there, and he also sometimes does this show solo. And he's teaching and giving readings. So make sure you check him out there if you have not done so already. So once again, I can't say thank you enough for sharing this information with our audience, giving us guidance every month. I sure appreciate it.
It's an honor and a pleasure, but I would be remiss if we close this segment out without talking about your brand new baby. Was it 250 pounds? That's a big baby, girl. Tell us about your baby.
That's what it felt like. But how new parents are. Let me pull out the pictures everywhere you
Please do. Please show the
gotta pull out the
pictures.
pictures again. Yes, yes.
She's beautiful.
Thank you so much. Thank you. This was a labor of love, and it's just something I want to do to help entrepreneurs all over grow in their
That's
business.
nice. That's nice. The business
Thank you.
of numerology and astronumerical approach to business.
Did you want to tell them who wrote the foreword?
Some guy,
Some guy.
well, I was asked to write the foreword, and I wrote it a couple of months before the book was actually got to this stage of printing and being available in Amazon and other ways. But it was an honor and a pleasure. Miss Kimbaley and I have worked together. In fact, this represents our 21st recording of the monthly forecast, and that is to me a milestone. But to see how her book has evolved, I can't wait to get my hands on a copy. She really went down the rabbit hole with this. And I was making the analogy in the introduction, just as J.P. Morgan, the famous financier, used an astrologer in his day. Well, the 21st century astrologer is Kimbaley in her day. So for those of you who would like some metaphysical guidance, astrologically, numerically, so your business can be a success, because although J.P. Morgan died in 1913, to this day, well over 100 years later, his name still exists in the world of finance. So maybe you might want to consult Ms. Kimbaley too. But congratulations, I can't wait to get my hands on that book. Congratulations, Kimbaley.
Thank you so much. Do you have any additional closing words for us today?
Yes, for those of you to the negative, to the positive side, act as a humanitarian. Bring about, motivate people, inspire people. Bring out the best in them. As this new says phrase now is, be the best version of yourself. That's what you want to do to people you meet. But to the negative, please be careful of handling knives, guns, sharp instruments, arguments, chaos, drama. Let all that be. It's bad enough the world seems to be tense now and people are on edge about ready to go to war. You don't want to do that on your level. You want to take the high road to bring out the best in everybody you come in contact with, and you will find it to be an investment well worthwhile in a humanitarian way.
Thank you so much once again. Everybody have a wonderful September and keep your eyes open for the book.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. Bye.